Okay, there we go. Hey y'all, hey. Literally as soon as I go live, like all the things. um, I just wanted to hop on really quickly. Class is about to start. This is year two. All right, summer session. All right, so we already had semester one, semester getting into year three, the final year of my Doctorate program. I am so excited. We are at the phase to where we've submitted to the IRB and we are making corrections. Actually, my group is meeting tomorrow. We have a few corrections. We just received word back from the IRB, very minor corrections. So I'm really excited to be at this phase so that we can just go ahead and start with our research. And so yeah, I just want to tap in with y'all. This summer session is actually the first class of two that I'm taking for the summer. The second summer class actually starts next week, so they're very short classes. Um, and so this was one of our learning communities. We had a book reading. The Last Children of Mill Creek was the book reading. And if you all recall, if you've been following me or following my journey through my program, um, earlier this year in January, I had mentioned actually going to the Mill Creek exhibit with my grandmother and how that experience was very relational to the things that we were covering in my class. So just to get everybody up to speed, if you are just now tapping in and don't know the full genesis of my journey, I am a St. Louis native and I live here now in Dallas, Texas. And my program that I am doing my education doctorate out of is from the University of Missouri, St. Louis. And so, what I really love about this program, the focus is on racial and social justice. That's so in alignment with the work that I do. I would not see myself returning to school to get a doctorate degree if it did not align. And this program is absolutely amazing. And so, it centers a lot of history of St. Louis in our class. And when I return home very frequently, um, wanted to go to the Mill Creek exhibit that was at the St. Louis History Museum. And so I recall in January doing a update, a vlog on my doctorate program and how the things we were learning in class, were just, it was very apparent through this Mill Creek exhibit how St. Louis has been almost the epicenter of, redlining, or, a lot of people talk about not even necessarily gentrification, but just the the centralizing point of how to destroy a black community that has attained a level of sustainability. The Mill Creek exhibit in St. Louis really showcases black life within a community of 20,000 black people who came up from the South and basically created their own self-sustaining community, kind of like Black Wall Street, or if you know anything about, predominantly black neighborhoods or cities or communities, this is Mill Creek. And the summer session, what I really like about this summer session, and I'm not gonna say my instructors did this because of my reflection paper that I did earlier this year, but all of the students had the opportunity in our program to collectively go to the exhibit for Mill Creek and read this particular memoir by Vivian Gibbons, and to create a reflection that related to our program. And so I did not attend the field trip, which was, I think, 3 weeks ago, because I had already had summer plans for going home to St. Louis a week later. And so my classmates actually telephoned me, they FaceTimed me while they were headed to the History Museum, which was really cool. Shout out to Tracy Nave. She's over there at Riverview Garden School District. Shout out to her. She hit me up and was like, "We miss you. Can we FaceTime you?" And so that was really cool. And I say all of that to say, because our instructors are very intentional that relates to our program. And for the other students, for my peers to actually be able to go to the museum as a part of our summer engagement, that was really cool. And so I'm racing home to get to class. This will be our last class today for this summer session, where we'll be discussing the book. I'm sure my peers will be sharing their experience. The reflection paper that is due today is actually supposed to be about how did the Mill Creek exhibit impacts their body of knowledge in relation to their problem of research. And I'm just really excited to hear that from my peers as well. So y'all, just wanted to give y'all the update. So yes, big smiles, very big smiles, because my 3-member research group, we have submitted to the IRB. Just heard back from them. Minor changes that they want us to integrate, and so we'll be working through those changes. What I can say, because I also like to give people just the real deal about the program, and returning back to school, because this was definitely um, something that I did because, I talk about it being 50% peer pressure. The other 50% is because in the industry, in the space in which I'm operating in, I know it's so beneficial for me to advance my body of knowledge with regards to education, administration. Um, it's so filling. It's so filling. So knowing that I am doing the education doctorate, and so this is a research cohort style, to where there are members doing research together, and so our study is on culturally responsive professional development and what makes it sustainable. And so, of course, the title is a work in progress, but that's essentially what we are studying. And so I'm just very privileged to be working with Eric Rowe. Shout out to Eric Rowe. He is so phenomenal. He's an administrator. We both hail from St. Louis, Missouri. He's currently in Colorado. And I'm also working with Andrea Johnson, who is a counselor in Ladue school districts, where I actually attended school. And so, with those different lenses applied to our research and what we are doing, and how it's in alignment with the work that I do with my consultant, it feels so filling. It feels like the right decision. I think a lot of times, um, you know, we can find reasons as to why we don't need to return to school. And let me also be clear, for those of you who are interested in consulting, I do not think that, it is something that you have to do, that you must do. You definitely should want to do it if you choose to do it, right? And I can say that I am happy in my decision, because a lot of information that I believe I should have been came into contact with, I should have learned some of this stuff when I was 15 years old, especially as it relates to, geographically where I'm from. Um, but I can say that as an educator, as a practitioner, it is benefiting me greatly, because I consistently integrate the information that I'm learning. If you all also don't know my background professionally as an educator, I am an English teacher, very fluent in Ebonics, or urban vernacular English, whatever you want to term it. But with that, and knowing the importance of vocabulary, a lot of practices that we were doing within my consulting firm, I now have the verbiage to go along with it, with a deeper understanding. And so that also feels good. So it's like aha moments, like, to where I know there is a reason and rationale of why we do the things that we do and how we structure our professional development, how we engage in strategic dialogue with district leaders before even drafting or crafting out their services, and knowing that there are words for this, there are protocols for this, right? There are theories that align to why this is best practices, and so all of that just feels so good. And at the same time, I've most recently been selected to be a part of the Texas Education Policy Institute, and that is actually a fellowship that birthed the Crown Act. If you are familiar with the Crown Act that was recently passed the last couple of years, that allows for um, organizations to not discriminate based on hair. So a lot of times you hear about policies that are put in place that you can't wear braids or your afro or things like that. And so that was birthed out of this particular fellowship, the last cohort that just actually graduated. And so I'm really grateful for that opportunity, and just really to get involved in education policy. I recall starting my educational consulting business because I said I wanted to get away from the politics and education, like in the classroom. Um, and what is a word that I want to use? Um, and I was being a little naive to the fact that I am closer to the politics than ever before, with consulting. And so, all of that to say, I think that there has been a nice progression of my involvement, my deeper involvement with the work that I am doing, on my journey of building the number one consulting firm, internationally, first class educator. That is my baby. Please look up the work that we do. This last year has been the most challenging year with this new administration. I can't admit to that, which placed me in a position to actually return to an organization, my first time working at a charter school. And again, everything is so in alignment with what I needed to experience to be able to continue the work that I am doing on a grand scale. Being able to witness the things that I already knew or assumed to be true. I would say assumed, but now knowing factually to be true about charter schools, how they're structured, how they operate, the babies in which we serve, and how we can do a better job of serving them. And again, that would not have happened if this last year with this new administration did not force to working at an organization. And so I am grateful to have uh, the knowledge that I have, the skill set that I have to actually do what I can do, and to be able to return at any time to teach. And I'm just grateful for this journey and experience, and needed to hop on to give y'all an update of my progress in my Doctorate program. All right, one step closer to getting approved for our research. I am going to continue to keep you all updated. I might even hop on to do an after reflection after class today. It starts in 2 minutes. So again, just want to tap in with y'all. If you are interested in returning back to school, make sure your heart is in it, because it definitely costs. I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, find a free the program doesn't align to your passion." Okay, so consider those things when you're taking advice from people. It has to be a high level of interest. Okay, for me anyway. If some people just seeking the title, it's not about the title for me. It's never been about the title for me. Knowing I am occupying a space where um, degrees are valued, right? Being this black girl with these lashes, my whole me being me, right? It goes along with it. But I am very grateful. Again, just wanted to update y'all. I love what I do. I love what I have to offer. I know what it means. I know what it means for the babies. And so, again, just wanted to update y'all on where I am in the journey and to give y'all my perspective. So, y'all have a good one. I'm about to hop on class. Bye bye.